we now have like a decade of social media, well, about 14 years now, I believe, where increasingly very few governments are left that are not on social media or Twitter. You see what's going on with just the idea of it being sold or reshaped, and where people's minds go when they hear about who wants to buy it, why, who could be behind it, and what that means for the future of it. I mean, we're still in the world of almost fads, so things can change, and masses of social media users can decide to just go off to another island on their phone or another app. But the geopolitical side is still there, and it doesn't really, not that it doesn't compare, but it's not the real people-to-people diplomacy, but it's still the main means of communication, the main means of showing that publicly, you know, that you're talking to another country, you're talking to another diplomat, you're there, you're engaging, and tagging can be everything.
To check into the social media clusters in their countries and find that Russian disinformation may have taken over, for example. This is a digital version of a very old story. Human beings and communities lie to each other and lie to themselves. But what digital does is to scale the impact to a horrendous degree. So I think that the social media challenge we now have to come to terms with is, how shall we as individuals keep ourselves and those who read and listen to us safe in this dystopian world? It is not enough to await regulatory salvation. In my view, we have to become savvier, faster users of an intrinsically human and therefore imperfect set of media tools. We cannot wait for government to save us.
What role does social media play in shaping geopolitics? Because you have kind of all these influential people on Twitter, we all seem to think that it plays a bigger role than it does. And it certainly does play a big role, because all of the influencers, the politicians, journalists, they're all on Twitter. So it's shaping the conversation that people have. Let's say journalists, their opinions and their mindset about what's important is taken from Twitter and then spread out to the larger world via mass media. So I think social media plays a really, really big role in setting the agenda, setting the topics of conversation, but it, like I said before, it's not necessarily reflective of what the public as a whole thinks.
I think geopolitics is changing in front of us as a result of, obviously, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. People are looking again at China. The world of trade has been changing, becoming more complex over many years. I think social media helps to explain that, to understand that, to discuss that.